I didn't say plenty stories today.
Yeah, I saw
I couldn't.
when I opened six. Did I send all the stories complete? I have to go and check. I now counted one by myself like six. Okay, so I'm not crazy.
That's why this one is story started dropping, but they are all connected. So connect the dots.
Welcome inside the locker room on a feel good Friday morning, 17 minutes past 8 a.m. And it's that time to get into the world of sports. Ayokunmi here, keeping it locked on the smooth breakfast with you. Welcome along to the ride. It's going to be a great one. So many things to talk about: tennis, football, hey, you name it. Looking forward to a great weekend. And joining me as she always does, looking all blue and Minnie Mousy as per the other day,
What's this Minnie Mouse? This not. This is how they pack natural hair.
is
Push push.
It's Minnie Mouse hair. It's
Minnie
Minnie Mouse
Mouse
hair.
paw.
She's a legend. Tega in the building. Good morning to you, Tega.
Good morning. It's not Minnie Mouse. It's natural, natural. All right. Good morning, everybody. Hope you had a great week. It's just now I know. I'm noticing that today is Friday.
You're just how?
I cannot explain it
I've been
in
thinking of Friday since
I
Tuesday.
cannot explain it in English terms, but we'll get there eventually. All right. So based on that, so much has happened this week. I guess that's why I did not know what time was what. So we'll talk about the Australian Open, some craziness there, bad fan behavior, bad on-court behavior. We will delve into everything that's happening at the Australian Open. We'll also touch on Manchester United giving, you know, people like Ayokunmi a heart attack and curing them almost instantly. We'll touch on all of that. We'll talk about the big weekend for Manchester City. If they thought that Wednesday was bad, Saturday is about to get lit.
Tega, we said it in this studio. Pep, be humble. We said it in this studio.
So we're going to talk about all of that and more inside the locker room today. But before we do any talking, I really want to hear from you today. If people don't call my line, if you don't call my line, the vex that I will vex. All right. So Ayokumi, give them the means, methods, media that they can reach us through.
All right, you can reach us this morning by sending your messages, first of all, to 0809 444 0981. 0809 444 The studio line, which you will call so that Teka does not vex. It is 0201 4489981. 0201 4489981. Get the number down. We'll open the studio line at the appropriate time. We're also on YouTube. We're streaming live at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. That's right. Smooth 981 FM Lagos. All right, let's jump down under into Australia. Interesting things going on there. Now, Madison Keys saved the match points before stunning world number two Iga Swiatek to set up an Australian Open final against two-time defending champion Arina Sabalenka.
Three-peat complete. All right, let me not do that.
It's too early. It's too early.
But hey, that's what it looks like. So, first matchup was Sabalenka against Paula Badosa. Now, I've said, in every relationship, there's always the leader and the follower. In this relationship, obviously, but Badosa is the follower. You people can't tell me otherwise because she steps up to play against Arina Sabalenka, and Paolo Badosa can play tennis. The reason she's that lowly ranked, I think, is because of that her back injury she had, that she struggled for about maybe 18 months, off and on, but she's getting back to full fitness now. So after defeating Coco Golf, I expected her to put up at least a fight against Arina Sabalenka, especially as Sabalenka has been struggling on her serves, which is one of her biggest weapons. Badosa went there and rolled over. I mean, she started the first game well. She broke. I was like, okay, gauntlet dropped. Then she was beaten. I think a lot of people will argue with me about this, but I think there were moments in that match where you knew how the relationship dynamics work. So
Right.
they were playing a point. Sabalenka had served, and Badosa tried to return. She hit the ball and then she tripped over her second foot.
Ouch.
And as she was falling, she was lifting her thumbs up to say to Sabalenka, I'm okay. Sabalenka first watched that the ball went out. Then, do you understand? Then she
Keeping
now
her
walks,
focus.
yes, keeping her focus. Then she now walks up to the net and says, oh, okay, yeah, all right. And she turns back and continues business as usual. So one person was there trying to make her friend feel okay. The other person was like, and I got to defend my points. And so that was one moment. There was another moment where they were playing and hitting the ball, and then Badosa hit, a two-point shot, and Arena Sabalenka hit the ball, turned around, cheered, and then looked at Badosa. I hope we're still friends. But first of all, she hit the winner, she cheered, and then she turned around. Meanwhile, Badosa, on the other hand, was playing against her friend. So again, I'm not saying that Sabalenka couldn't have beaten Badosa if she were full business. I'm
Mm.
just saying that the beatdown is only always this bad because Badosa is playing against her friend, but Sabalenka is competing. So they need to work on that. But that was the first match, and so everybody was not so happy. Sabalenka is through. Iga Swiatek is facing Madison Keys. Iga Swiatek beats Madison Keys. She knows how to beat Madison Keys, and so she's going to. It was 1-1 head to head, so she's going to do something. Swiatek came in, took the first set. Second set, she couldn't seem to hold the serve. She lost that set by 6 games to 1. The only game she won was when she broke Madison. She couldn't hold the serve. They come out in the third set and she had ample opportunity to break Madison Keys. She didn't. There was one time she was leading from 40 love. She lost.
Oh,
There was
wow.
thank you. Then she eventually broke and served for the match. She was 40-30 up. She had match points. She lost herself. They got into a tie break. She got a mini advantage. She lost it. Got another mini break. She lost it. Got the third mini break. When Madison Keys beat her, I wasn't surprised. I was like, you literally handed it to her. This is not to take anything away from Madison Keys.
Right,
Madison
right, right.
Keys
She
played,
played.
yeah, she played tennis out of her skin. However, Iga Swiatek, against her own natural character, played the big points poorly. And that's why she lost yesterday. So she was crying. I was like, Auntie, you should cry. For the pain you caused me, you should cry. But yeah.
I mean,
So it's a key Sabalenka final.
I've heard of village people, but that is
That's the
beyond
next level.
that's beyond village people.
All right, which takes us now to the men's final. Yannick Sinner is supposed to face Shelton today for an opportunity to meet Sasha Zverev because Novak Djokovic retired after losing the first set
No way.
early hours of this morning to Zverev. Apparently, the thigh injury that he picked up in against Alcaraz.
That he used to play mind games against Alcaraz.
Yes, and so this is. Let me finish my thought before you cut my sentence. We now start sounding like husband and wife. Anyway, so the injury he picked up against Carlos Alcaraz started bothering him, and he said, and this is not me exaggerating, he said at the press conference that if he had won the first set, he would have seen if he could have played through it. But as he didn't win the first set, and the first set took 82 minutes, over an hour. And so because he didn't win the first set, that's why he retired. Making supposed to just be angry because the fans were already booing him for retiring, which I think is just bad behavior. People should behave better. If somebody is retiring because they're injured, let them retire. They need to work after they retire. They cannot be playing because you paid money and then when they are 40, they can't stand up. So people should be coming down when you're booing. So it was very wrong and classless of Australian fans to boo him, the ones that booed him. But he said he would have played the second set. That I think that's where some people will be upset if he had won the first set. But it again goes back to Carlos Alcaraz. I said it. Novak Djokovic, not to take away again anything from what Novak Djokovic did, but Carlos lost that match based on the fact that Novak Djokovic just led him down a rabbit hole and he did the rest. So yes, Novak Djokovic cannot get to 25th, but he had an excellent Australian Open regardless. Sasha Zverev now goes into the final and he's waiting for the winner of the Shelton versus Sinner, which will take place right about now.
Ah, man, interesting things are actually going on. All right, let's leave tennis and head it over into the world of football. We're kind of jumping into the Champions League because I mean, after Wednesday,
Hey, we have to.
we have to. There's
We
no
have to
choice.
touch it.
And we're talking about PSG and Man City first of all. Now, PSG produced a stunning second half fight back as they recovered from 2 goals down City to beat Man City 4-2 in the Champions
Okay,
League thriller on Wednesday.
and I need to correct that headline. They did not recover from 2 goals down. Manchester City once again this season because it's been one time too many. By now, it's habit to know that when
Mm.
Manchester City go 2 goals up, they're about to
The
concede.
second time in the Champions League.
Yes, the second time in Champions League. That time they were 3 goals up against Feyenoord.
Yeah.
Yeah. Against Brentford.
No,
Against Feyenoord.
Feyenoord the Champions
Yes.
League. Yeah.
Yeah. Against Brentford, they were still 2 goals up when they just. So once Manchester City goes 2 goals up like this, Chelsea fans, this weekend is two of you that are wearing one trouser. Once they go to up, don't abuse Jackson. Don't abuse Palmer. You're about to win the match.
Definitely.
That's when you should go and buy popcorn. Because match has just started. But yes, ultimately Manchester City and PSG were in dire straits, so both of them needed this win, and they both played a very horrible first 45 minutes. I was like, do you want to win or do you want to crash out together? Some people, misery loves company.
I was going to say that.
So some people, I think they wanted to hold hands and walk out of the Champions League together. But second half, everything turned around. Jack Grealish comes on, and for the first time in his 100 million transfer career, he pretended to be a footballer worth 100 million. Because he came in, scored the first goal, and then it was his deflected cross that got to Erling Haaland to get the second goal. It looked like Manchester City were on their way up and PSG were locked out in the dark and in the cold. Then, whilst Manchester City started getting comfortable and Ilkay Gundogan forgot how to play football, I think he left his football in Camp Nou and then came back to Manchester City.
I believe so.
Yeah, empty-handed. But he forgot how to play football, and suddenly Manchester City conceded the first goal. As soon as Manchester City conceded the first goal, I said, if they've conceded one, they will concede two.
And the two didn't take long at all.
The two didn't take long at all because they were 2 goals up in the 53rd minute. They were 2 goals. It was 2-2 by the 58th minute. And I was just like, wait, what happened in who paused time? And so you look at everything. Let's start from Ederson. Ederson drinking in goals. Let's start from Gundogan not playing well. Let's start from the defense. Because their Manchester players are running into spaces, but they're not picking up anybody. And zonal marking may mean that you don't mark a particular man. But what it also means with zonal marking is that you ensure that the man that is in your zone is not it doesn't get the ball before you, number one. And if he gets the ball before you, he cannot do anything with it. That's what zonal marking is.
Right.
It's not marking empty space. It's not bodies in the box. It is ensuring that if you can see
what's in front of you.
Yeah, if you can see a person, he should not put the ball in the back of it, because the ball doesn't go into the back of the net until somebody hits it. And so they just get there and they mark space. And they don't mark anybody. And so that's how they're conceding goals. So it's going to be tough because, we watch Chelsea, and much as they struggle with the on and off results, Chelsea has runners. And they have players that will run at you. And so the Manchester City defense does not even know how to defend in transition. So by the time Chelsea have sent two people to run at them, it may be like 4-0 first half. So this weekend, LK Aderoba will greet me well. LK, how are you doing?
Pep, we told you to be humble. You chose not to listen.
Shouldn't have signed the 2-year extension. Should have just taken a sabbatical after this and said he needs time to emotionally. Anyway, he won't have been divorced if he didn't take the 2-year extension. We'll never know.
We'll never know. All right, let's take a break.
Take a break.
When we come back in, we'll continue in the locker room. This is Smooth 98.1. Don't go anywhere.
Yep, we'll never know. I said, yep, we'll never know, because she says yes, it's the extension that brought the divorce. But then again, when you're already living separately, I know. I mean, if you ask me to choose between living in Manchester and living in Barcelona, I'll choose Barcelona every day of the week and twice on Sunday. I cannot be living in Manchester where night falls at 6
I heard
p.m.
it rains almost every
Do
day.
you
They're
understand?
like,
It's just the worst. So
why?
just Barcelona is fine.
That sounds so dreary.
Yeah. The language, I don't care about language barrier. Learn Spanish. Stay in Barcelona every day of the week and twice on Sunday.
Google Translate.
Google Translate, you know. ¿Qué es esto? Hablo un poquito. I will somehow. Spanish will come out of my mouth.
After that game against Ipswich, and we said this thing, no, I was like, oh, Manchester City is back.
You back home.
At least win back to back games
Do you understand?
first.
Before you start talking about Baxter.
Now they need to win their last game. I think they should against
No.
against
They must, and they have no.
I think it's Bruges or something.
It's
they're
Bruges.
playing.
Okay, so they have to win. They must beat Bruges.
First of all, and hope that those in front of them.
They now beat Bruges, then they'll now start looking around for who can donate points for them. That's what they'll need.
If not, it's bye bye.
We'll come back with some messages.
There are a couple on YouTube.
Let's do YouTube.
Welcome back into the locker room on a Feel Good Friday morning on Smooth 98.1. Ayokunmi right here. Tega also in on a Friday. We're having great conversation, talking about all the sporting action that has been making the rounds, and we look to you to also join us. Please do send those messages in to us on WhatsApp and on YouTube. WhatsApp, the number is 0809-444-0981. Studio line is 0201 4489 981. And on YouTube, we are Smooth 981 FM Lagos. A couple of messages have come through. LK Aderoba says, with Man City struggling, I still don't see this inexperienced Chelsea beating them this weekend.
LK is chopping humble pie.
And what am I hearing about Chelsea and Garnacho?
I'm hearing it too, but people should unhear some things.
Indeed. Uchenna Wokoye says, United, good win, but we always make it tough for ourselves. Next stop is Fulham with Adama and will be in good form. Step up, boys. City is just horrible. Big Mayor says, TGIF to you too. The positive for Man City is that by the time Pep learns how to keep a high line defending, he will redominate football for another 5 years. That ship has sailed, I beg. Padre Pio, or Pio, as I love to say, says, hello, LK. For some of us, we shall buy our popcorn and wait for the Chelsea City match while preparing hanky-panky for you for Monday's banter.
No, LK has already, you see, if you don't expect much, you won't be disappointed. So he has already said that he doesn't see Chelsea beating Manchester City. He's giving himself wiggle room. But let's throw that open. What do you think Manchester City's current form, despite the fact that Pep Guardiola delusionally thought that his team was back because he beat Ipswich. Who doesn't beat Ipswich? Oh, sorry.
Ruben Amorim.
Ruben Amorim doesn't beat Ipswich.
Was his first game?
Chelsea doesn't beat Ipswich too. Let's move on.
History loves company, truly.
So let's talk about it. What do you think the scoreline will be? Chelsea taking on Manchester City on Saturday. How do you think it will turn out for Manchester City or for Chelsea? Give me a scoreline. All right, we'll take those messages when I can see some messages coming via WhatsApp. Just keep dropping those messages. We'll come to them. But first of all, let's go to Manchester United. I think they're up.
Yes, indeed. They are up next as Man United captain Bruno Fernandes scored a last gasp winner to secure a 2-1 win over Rangers in the Europa League group stage at Old Trafford.
All right, this is the match that they used to test if Ayo's heart was strong. Ayo, how did your heart make it through?
I just watched the first half and I went to bed.
You went to bed? All right. You missed all the drama. So, truth be told, when Manchester United scored, I was like, they're going to beat Rangers. Because Manchester United have this way of, and they win games. They lose one, they win one. It's a back-to-back wins that is a struggle for them. But they do win games, and so when especially with the way Rangers were a bit more porous and looked vulnerable every time Manchester United's player was facing their 18-yard box with the ball, Rangers just looked like they didn't know what to do. They were jittery, they were nervous, and then Manchester United scored. I was like, okay, Manchester United is finally going to win. Then I waited, and then I waited, and then I waited some more.
What? The Rangers goalkeeper made a couple of really good saves.
Yes. However, some of those things should have hit the back of the net. It wasn't that deep. It wasn't, especially with the way the guys were shaking. You could see the white of the goalkeeper's eye every time. Put the ball in the back of the net. Let's see road. Make it comfortable. Let people breathe. And so for 90 minutes, you didn't notice that you only exhaled after the match. Some of you should have six-pack abs straight now because the way you were holding your breath, your muscles would have tensed. But all I can say, it was that thing. The longer the Rangers stayed in the game, the easier it was for them to come back. And so when Sirius, he scored the first one that he got the first one that should have scored, and he hit the post, but he was technically offside. He was just a tad offside. I was like, this boy is going to score a goal. I did not finish exhaling when the guy turned Maguire like a bar and put the ball in the back of the net. Look, I tell you, when he put the ball in the back of the net, there were Chelsea fans. So just down my street, there's a guy that people watch football in his house. So there's Chelsea fans, the Arsenal fans, the other fans there. As soon as they scored, all of them shouted, "I took him!" It was a
It was
chorus.
one of the most obvious things,
Do you understand?
probably.
They're like, the way this match is going, Manchester United is going to concede. And so, but the good news about that is that spurred Manchester United on, and they went on to score a winning goal, Bruno Fernandes. And I like what he said at the end of the match. Manchester should not get used to losing. That's the first thing. If people don't know that mindset works, but the way your mind is the way your character and your attitude will follow. If you say I'm accepting no failure from now on, even when things disappointments come, you will find a way to get a victory after
Right.
that. So
True.
that I
True.
think that's the mind. They need to start with that mindset, and then they can build from there. But it was a good night for you, wasn't it?
Oh,
However,
it was eventually.
that's just one half of the job. This weekend
Hmm.
they face Fulham. Another tough one with runners this time.
When it rains, it pours.
So let's see how it goes. So Manchester City is facing Chelsea. Manchester United is facing Fulham. Let's see who will win, Manchester or London.
Oh, that's true. It's a Manchester versus London thing.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big one. Okay, let's keep things moving, and we're heading back into the Champions League. This one, he shocked me. Now, a double from Mexico striker Santiago Jimenez and a valiant defensive effort handed Dutch side Feyenoord a shock 3-0 Champions League win over Bundesliga giants Bayern Munich on Wednesday. Tega, I want to just ask you, that Feyenoord keeper, what was he on? Did they test him?
Look, some of those shots were actually he was in position to save it, not to take anything away from him. Some of them he was actually in great position to save it. But defensively, oh my goodness, I did not understand how Vice Company was a defender, and defensively all his teams just shipping goals. How? What did you so that excellent defender we saw is only to play. You don't know how to defend. That means it was coach and was telling him what to do.
Hmm.
Is the thing that coach told him he should tell other people.
Practically, can do, but theory, he cannot pass it.
He
Just
cannot pass
practical.
it, just practically. So it's a tough one, and for me to see Vice Company as Bayern Munich coach, even if should he manage to win the Bundesliga or any trophy this season, it's hard for me to see him long term
Hmm.
as Bayern Munich coach. As I speak, I'm sure that they're already scouting his replacement.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Look, because there is no time, or there is no type of Bayern Munich team that should be losing to Feyenoord in a match where they need to get points to at least stay in the Champions League.
True.
And it was the way they were torn apart. It was not. It was not 5 minutes of madness. It was strategic moments. Every time Feyenoord got the ball, they looked dangerous, and that is not a personnel issue. That is a structure issue. That's a shape issue, and shape issue is usually coach issue. So I don't see him staying in this job, even if he manages to win Bundesliga. I'm sure his replacement is already at the door.
I mean, looking at what they did with Julian
Yes.
Nagelsmann,
Yeah,
I mean, if they could do that to him, I don't see company.
I know. A
lasting-
company should just
With this football he's playing right
yes,
now,
he should just try and win one trophy so that when he's leaving, he'll say, "I won a trophy with Bayern Munich."
uh-huh,
And that will be on his
it's
resume.
on his CV. It's
Uh-huh.
there.
That's it.
Okay, let's head over to Saudi Arabia. Well, I was going to say Barcelona. Brazilian star Neymar is in discussions about leaving his Saudi club Al Hilal, but his financial demands are holding up an agreement according to club
It,
sources.
so I just want to ask a question. Did Neymar play for this club or he just collected their money for months?
I think he played one or two games,
Be-
did ambassador, and that
do you
was it.
understand? Because this guy, since he went to Saudi, I've not seen him juggle ball. I'm just saying.
Well, apparently he has played just 7 times.
That's what I'm saying.
Seven.
He's barely. Do you understand? This guy signed big that money. Okay, millions.
$104 million a year
That's that's
salary.
that's a lot of baby food
$104 million.
to just stroll around Saudi Arabia. In fact, sometimes he was not even in Saudi. He was in America. Because I know I've seen him many times in America, just watching NBA games. Like they were paying him to watch NBA games. That's what this guy was doing. And so it's a Al Hilal lost on every front.
Indeed.
He didn't do ambassador for them. The ambassador job, your ambassador job off the pitch is based on what you do on the pitch. It's easy for Messi to collect Medal of Honor from the White House because there were celebrities going with their cameras. You know how people go on safari and they go with their cameras to slap lion. There were celebrities that left their houses in the morning, dressed up, put full makeup on, went to watch Messi just to snap one picture of him, and he delivered. Those kind of things, you can now, when you see him doing all these ambassadorial things, it carries more impact.
Right, right, right.
This Al Hilal ambassador, Neymar did nothing for. They just gave him free money.
Scam.
I look. I take into recognition that when players are injured, their body needs time to recover. I'm just saying that he didn't sign up for a hospital. He signed up for a football club. 7 match appearances, maybe.
It's actually very, 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 very worrying. I mean, looking at Neymar now, the injuries he's had since he left PSG to Saudi Arabia, and will any club be willing to take him on, knowing the record he had?
Exactly, with those injuries, and now you want them to pay this kind of ridiculous amount. We are paying for name. We don't want name. We want football. That's what it is. That's why he's stuck in Saudi. Because who wants to pay for him? All right. On that note, let's take some messages.
Yes, let's take some messages.
Those messages are coming. Nathan Joko, I see you. Let's start with you.
Yes, Nathan says Nova don't fake injuries. So he don't know when real injury happened.
Okay, don't do that. Don't do that. But somebody was saying, all of it, I was saying that Novak Djokovic was faking his injury. I hope you feel ashamed now. I was like, no, the morale of the boy who cried wolf is exactly what we are witnessing. Because you've cried wolf one too many times. Now you are really injured. Everybody's just like, we've seen it before. So.
All right, Nathan further says, Tega, do you think City's struggles are as a result of Pep's marital issues, or has he just simply run out of steam? I feel for him now. People are questioning his goatship.
Well, I won't say it's a marital issues that's the problem, but I can say this, that even he will not be in the right frame of mind with all the things that are happening off the pitch and then on the pitch, and then it's a combination of everything. The team has run out of steam. They've been winning for years. They need a break. His team has run out of some steam. They need new motivation.
Right.
Yeah. At the same time, he's having issues that are taking his mind, into different places off the pitch. So everything is just coming to a head. I guess that's what's happening.
All right. Mohammed says, Mohammed, welcome back. He says Djokovic knew that he wasn't going to win the Australian Open. His aim was to knock out Alcaraz, fan favorite, so that he could get back at the Australian audience who were supporting Alcaraz. He then says Pep has joined the divorce coaches club. Tuchel, Mourinho, Ancelotti, etc. Well, not his doing, Sha. But anyways, Tega, you know your gender. Even if Pep didn't sign that extension, that woman go waka. Forget, women are loyal only to their feelings. Pep didn't cheat on her. Oh, don't forget.
Well, so Mohammed, let's start this story. Before, a lot of people have been dismissing this woman, and I think I'm very upset on her behalf. Pep met this girl when she was 17. Pep has been with his wife since she was 17.
I think he's been together for 30 years or something like that.
No, let's leave 30 years. Since he was 17. Let's call the real age. She turns 53 this year. She's been with Pep since she was 17. That's before he signed his professional contract, because he was 18 at the time. That's before he signed his professional contract. They didn't even know if he was going to blow. That's also when he became a footballer. That's also when he failed. Remember when he failed the drug test and he was suspended?
Right.
This was the same wife that was there. So when people start making it look like she was flimsy, 30 years is 3 decades.
It's a long time.
She did not flimsily make up this decision. She was with him, she was 17, she's 53 now. It took a while for her to get here. So
Indeed.
don't dismiss her as being fickle minded or as being a go. It is insulting, not just to her, but also to Pep.
All right, Zikolo says, Garnacho to Chelsea, it still will not amount to anything. I just know what they are fighting for, Seth. They already said they are not competing for the title, and heaven believes them. They should just beat Man City tomorrow. Michael says, I think the body language of Pep speaks volumes. The man has given up, and the team can feel the change
Yep.
in him. Tayo says, Neymar with Ogbon Sadiq tactics. Nobody bottle games like Man City, if not for skin color. There's no difference between Onana and Ederson. I think it's Ederson, me, not Eduardo. Chelsea, Man City looking like a sophisticated 2-2 draw. Man
Yeah.
United to Fulham, Ayo, you're in our prayers because Maguire was tossed and caught in the air like smooth Eba.
I'm telling you. All right, we are really running out of time. There's so many messages. We can't take all the messages. Ayo from Oniru, we see you. Emeka Onelum, we see you. Mr. Ralph, we see you.
Fred as well.
Fred, we see you. We can't take all your messages. We apologize. And all of you on YouTube, we apologize we can't take your messages because we're totally out of time. On that note, I want to say thank you for sending your messages. Thank you for tuning into Smooth 98.1 FM to listen to the locker room. And we'll be back again on
Monday.
Monday.
That's right.
But before then, pray that your club is not fodder for banter. Ayo, start praying.
Amen. Amen. All right. Thank you so much, Tega. Have a great weekend. And thank you for being a part of the locker room as you always do. It's always our pleasure having you. Meanwhile, keep it tuned to the Smooth Breakfast, 9 o'clock. A conversation will be had on Lagos Talks. We're talking about jaundice in newborns. That is something you definitely want to jump on.